Hi, my name is Jana Kay and welcome to my channel, Flourish Evermore. This is monthly makes for the month of May in 2023. So we're going to get started with our finished objects. All right, my first finished object is my Cande pullover. I finished it. I didn't have much further to go. It was just mainly finishing the ribbing and putting in the sleeves. And so it is officially done. And this is what it looks like. There's also all my projects are on my Ravelry page, so you can see photos there. And I will also add a photo for you to see. But I finished the sleeves. I did make them short sleeves. I think I mentioned that the yoke part was pretty close to the right length, but I added 2 rows of double crochet and then did the ribbing. And yeah, really love it. It fits great. This yarn is Scheepie's Whirl, and it's in the color Raspberry Rocky Roads. But I did use a 3mm hook the whole way around. I didn't change for the ribbing, and I didn't mention that the wool, the cotton, that the yarn is 60% cotton and 40% acrylic, and but extremely soft. It is fingering weight, so I really love the texture, the fabric that turned out, and so I was very happy with it. Very lightweight. And I look forward to wearing it. We're getting into winter here in South Africa, but we are going to be going to Europe in July, so I look forward to wearing it there. And then in the summer, when summer comes along, September, October, we start getting into spring, and so hopefully we'll be able to wear it, and really am excited about it. So I love the color. Love the fade of the yarn from the deep raspberry shades into the gray and dark gray. I was worried about the sleeves that I wouldn't like the gray going as it got lighter, and then the sleeves ending up being the darker color instead of maybe fading into more of the pinker and light pink, light gray colors. But I actually like it. I decided to let the yarn do its thing, and you split for the sleeves and go back and finish it. And so I really do love the way that it turned out. That's my first finished object, the Cande Pullover by Nomad Stitches. You should check it out. It is an amazing pattern. It does go up from size 1 all the way up to size 9, and mine is a size 2 is what I made for mine. It does have, or it's intended to have, about 3 to 5 inches of positive ease, and I think mine will have around 3 inches, just over 3 inches of positive ease. So yeah. And there's ways you can adapt it. You can make it long sleeve. You can also lengthen the body. It is a crop top, so you can lengthen the body, and or like I did, make it short sleeve. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I love it. Can't wait to wear it. My first finished object. So let's move on to my second finished object. I mentioned in my last monthly makes that I really wanted to do an amigurumi. And I did. And I loved it. So I used the pattern called Buddy Bear 2.0. It is by Craftably Ever After. The website and the YouTube channel is run by Cassandra, and she is in Denmark. And this is her pattern. And so this is what Buddy Bear looks like. And he's really cute. I really love him. And I was so excited about how easy it was to work this up. I did copy how she did the stitching around the eyes, and I followed, and I can't remember who, but I followed a pattern for embroidering the nose. And I just had a great time. I was so worried about the ears because you fold them, and then when you put them on, you make sure that they curve. I don't know if you can see, oops, I gotta hold it down, that they curve out here from the sides or in the back, and then they go in at the front. And so I was a little bit worried about stitching that for my first time. And they're not perfect, but they're so cute. And I think he turned out great. I stitched the arms on, made him a little scarf, and green and gold, of course, two of my favorite colors, my university colors, and also the colors of the national teams here in South Africa. So that is Buddy Bear. I used, the yarn is by Kismet Yarns, and it is in the colorway, or the yarn is actually called Lollipop. And this colorway is called Hazel, but I don't know if you can see it, but there's some glitter. It's kind of a brown gold kind of glitter that is in the yarn. So Buddy Bear got a little bit of bling when I made him, and I really do love him. So Lollipop is a double knit 100% acrylic yarn, like the pattern called for. It called for DK yarn and a 3mm hook. And so that is what I used to make Buddy Bear, and absolutely love him. Check out Cassandra's channel, Craftably Ever After. She is a toy amigurumi expert, and loved her pattern. And she has a website as well where she has this pattern for free. So check that out. And I'm sure you can do it with worsted weight yarn. Just would come out, you'd have a little bit bigger Buddy Bear than what I have. And so, yeah, so this is Buddy Bear, and I was so excited to finally get an animal amigurumi out. I did another amigurumi around Christmas that was a snow globe that was supposed to be showing your favorite Christmas movie, which mine are the Santa Claus 1, 2, and 3. And so I made a snow globe, but it was all one piece, and then I sewed like snow globe scenes onto it. And so this was the first time that I had made an animal, sewn on ears, embroidered nose and around the eyes and those kind of things. And I'm very happy with the way he turned out. So that was finished object number 2. Finished object number 3 is the next month of Jada and Stitch's Fair Isle Style calendar blanket for 2023. And this month, the stitch was a house. And so that's what that looks like. If you can see the house. She had different versions you could do. That you could do, let's see if I can hold that up so you can see it. You could actually shade in the roof instead of leaving it open. You could shade in the house and then leave the window and doors open, all one color. But I chose to do a brown house with a red roof. And so that is the month of May Fair Isle Style Calendar Blanket from Jada and Stitches. And the colors that I used for this, let me grab them so that you can see them. I am using yarn by Elle. It's called Pure Gold, and it is DK acrylic yarn. So the roof was made out of the colorway Chili. There you go. And you can see this is the label for the yarn that I'm using. And the house was made out of the colorway Hazelnut. And that's the color that I used for the house. Again, you can see the label. It is 100-gram ball, and there are approximately 258 meters, 284 yards on the ball, and I will probably have quite a bit left over. Who knows? This hazelnut color might make a really pretty Buddy Bear. May end up doing that, depending on what the rest of the year is looking like. The main color is also Pure Gold by Elle, and it is the color Irish Glen. And so this is the rest of the ball that I have so far, although I do have more that I will continue using, but this is the colorway. I wanted to do something, well, my idea was that I was gonna maybe pick 2 or 3 colors and do all the motifs for each month in those 2 or 3 colors. And so I picked this because it had a little bit of pink, a little bit of blue. It wasn't quite a true white, kind of a cream color. There's some purple. I don't know if you can see it in there. And I thought it would be really pretty, and then ended up deciding to do each month different based on what the motif was. And so I have used blue, I've used pink, I've used a teal color, a purple, and now for the house I've used the brown and the red. And I think the main color is still a really great choice. I really like the muted colors. It's a little bit different than just using stark white or an off-white color. And so that is what I have chosen. And really still enjoying making the blanket. I am glad that I joined and am doing her pattern or her calendar blanket for this year. I'm having a great time doing that. So those are my finished objects. So we're going to move on to whips, the works that I have in progress. My first whip is my husband's socks, but I have gotten quite a bit done and getting fairly close to finishing them. So I bought a bag from a place called Shui, because the material that they use is called Shui Shui. It is the South African fabric, and this is supposed to be like a men's travel kit bag, and I use it. It's perfect for socks or smaller projects. So I have finished one sock. I got his first sock done. And this is what it looks like. Love the yarn. I love the way the colors are working up. I tried it on. It is fitting. So I'm excited about that. And this is what I have gotten done on the second sock. So I am more than halfway done with the leg and just about to get to the heel flap turn and gusset. And so just a few more rows. And I think I tried, but I just have to say I am a new knitter. And so the long tail cast on, I haven't quite worked out how I do it, because sometimes I'm left with a decent tail, sometimes a really long tail, sometimes I don't have a tail and have to do it over again. But I think when I cast on the new sock, the cuffs match pretty well. So I was very excited that I was getting, the way I cast it on, that I was getting it to match pretty closely. And so that was kind of exciting to be able to do that. And so, yeah, so I look forward to getting that done. I am using the yarn. Where's my label? There it is. I am using the yarn called, it's by Stylecraft, called Head Over Heels Boho. It is 75% superwash wool, 25% nylon. I will say that it is not as soft as superwash merino. This just says superwash wool. It is a little bit rougher, but it's still very comfortable to wear, and I like the yarn. It is a 100-gram ball, and trying to see, oh, here we go, 400 meters or 437 yards on the ball. And then when I am done, I will make a granny square to go with my sock granny square scrappy blanket that I will make with all my sock yarn that I have been using, or that I will be using, since this is technically only my second sock. But I'm excited because the crazy sock lady is doing summer sock camp, and so I plan on posting all the socks and making more. I am a slow knitter because I am new at knitting. So I don't know how many I will get done. I think I started this pair of socks in April, on like the 10th of April. So, but I have been interrupted by a couple other projects. And so I hope to make, my goal is to make 2, maybe 3 more pairs of socks. And I want to try out one of her patterns. I bought her Follow Your Path pattern, and another pattern. Anyway, I'll put the name of it up there, and of course link everything in the description box below. But I hope to be able to make 1 pair of socks from another pattern besides just her vanilla sock pattern. I'd also like to try to change yarn for the cuff, the heel, and the toe, and work on learning that new skill as well. So yeah, I'm excited that I am getting his socks done, and I'm really excited that they fit him, and yeah, I hope he likes them. And it is winter, so want to get them done quickly so that he is able to wear them. So that is another thing I am working on. I still am working on, but haven't done much. In fact, the banana silk handbag that I am working on. I didn't do anything with it. The yarn, it's really hard on my hands to crochet, and I've been doing some other things, trying to get socks done, that I've kind of put that to the side. And the other is Linda Simpson Designs Squares and Pearls Afghan. Still working on that, but that's one of those projects when I'm either tired of one thing or I just don't really have anything else I'm working on, then work on it. So it's not a pattern that I've got a deadline in mind that I want to get to and finish by that time. It's just something that, again, as I'm learning to knit and follow patterns, read patterns, that I am working on that blanket. But I've not done anything, so I'm not going to show them to you in this video. But hopefully in the month of June, I will be able to show you a little more progress on those two projects. My other whip that I have is I did start another Cande pullover. I mentioned that I might start one, and I love the patterns so much that I did start another one. And this is my progress so far. So, let me see if I can do it. There we go. There you go. That's the front side. The back has some short rows under the ribbing, and I chose purple. Not because my husband's socks were purple. I actually don't have anything purple in my wardrobe. I have a lot of grays. I have pink. Green is another color that I have. I didn't have purple. And so I thought it is really pretty that I would try it out. So I did the gauge on this. Oh, and by the way, let's see if I can show you the lace on here. The lace stitching is so pretty. I really love it. So I chose a cotton. This one is by the company L, and it is called L's Cotton 4-ply. Now I told you the other one was fingering weight yarn, and even though it still calls for a 3mm hook, it is a little bit thicker than fingering weight yarn. It is coming out as a thicker fabric. Still feels really nice, not too heavy, but it is coming out a little thicker. And I did work on gauge, and in order to meet gauge, I needed to go down to a 2.5mm hook. But like the other pattern, I am not changing to a smaller hook for the ribbing, partly because I don't want it too tight around the neck. So I don't want to use a smaller hook for the ribbing and make the neck any tighter. I don't mind it being loose. And so I've chosen to do a 2.5mm hook for the entire pattern. I was contemplating doing a size 1 pattern because on the other one, the pink one, the lace came pretty far down, and I will need to wear like a strappy top underneath it, and was hoping not to have to do that because it is thicker, hopefully not needing to wear a top, strappy top under it. But I did not go to a size 1 because the yarn is thicker, and because I'm using a smaller hook, I want to make sure that it does fit. And so I'm sticking with the size 2, but there was part of the pattern that you did, unless you were a size 1, you did a row of double crochet before you started, I think it was the lace. and I did not do that. Or I think it was right after the lace. I take that back. I think it was right after the first lace pattern, which the first lace pattern are these little squares here. And so right after that, it called for a row for size 2 all the way through size 9, called for a row of double crochet. And I decided to skip that because 1 did not call for it. There were no increases, so it kept your stitch count the same. And so I decided to omit that row so that hopefully the rest of the lace, so there's 4 lace patterns, that the rest of the lace will sit up a little higher and I don't have to wear a strappy top underneath. We'll see how that goes. There may be a chance or a time where I'll skip maybe another row of double crochet, as long as it doesn't increase or it doesn't change the stitch count. There's no increase to change the stitch count. So I have started another one. I want to finish it again to take on my trip when we go to Europe in July. So those are my whips for knitting and crochet. My final whip is my embroidery. I'm getting closer. I knew one of my goals for May was to finish, but I'm not quite finished yet, but am getting closer. So I have started the outline on these poppies right here. So I've started those outlined, and those are going to be filled in with long and short stitches. And then these flowers will be filled in with satin stitches, and then I'll be finished with it. And again, I have loved doing embroidery. I have just really enjoyed picking up this craft. I am not an artist. I am not a painter, but I feel like it gives me a way of being creative with different stitches and painting, in a sense, with stitches. And even some of the outline of flowers, I could actually draw my own design and then stitch them, which is kind of exciting to think about doing that. But I still have a lot of practice to go because I don't know all the stitches there are. And just working on getting stitches even and making them look nice. But again, I will recommend, if you are interested in embroidery of any kind, to watch Sarah Humphrey's embroidery channel. She is great. Her tutorials are amazing. She goes slow. She explains things so well that I came away feeling like I can do this. I can really learn to embroider. So this is what, I don't actually know which way it's supposed to be turned. I guess it doesn't really matter, but that's what it's looking like so far. And if you want to see, this is what the back looks like. Not that I am real, flip those back. Not that I'm real particular about the back of it, but just watching her videos has helped me understand how to fix stitches so they don't come out. You don't need to tie knots unless you're doing French knots, like in this cute little flower right here. Knots on purpose, but you don't make knots when you're actually doing your stitching. And so, as I said, I would recommend her channel if you are interested in doing embroidery. And I've also been watching a few of her videos on slow stitching, which, I don't need to really start another craft. And it is kind of embroidering, but it's different. But it looks really fun as well. So I would just check out her channel if you are interested in that. And so that is my last work in progress. And let's move on to goals for June. So my goal for June is, or my goals, I should say, for June are to finish my embroidery, finish my husband's sock, and start a new one and get that done. We do have some people, a couple of big groups coming from the U.S. to help us with ministry. Not sure how much I can get done, but do want to finish my Cande, my second Cande pullover. So the embroidery, the socks, the Cande pullover are ones that I really want to focus my attention on. And then work, probably when we go to Europe, I will just take socks with me. I bought a new bag. We had a market near us that happens every so often. I think this is actually only the second one for the year. But I bought this bag. It's hand painted fabric by a company called Zuva Designs. And yeah, it's lined on the inside. It is a great size. I think it'll fit a sock project really well. And so this bag, along with this bag, should hopefully give me some things to do while we are in Europe and traveling and sightseeing and just having a small project to take with me. But that would be in July. So hopefully I will get a video out by the end of June, beginning of July, for everything that I've been working on and hopefully finishing. And then, then July may be a little sparse, but maybe I'll add, I hope to go to some yarn shops and maybe even an embroidery shop while I am in Europe. And so maybe I'll include those in the video coming up at the end of July. So that is pretty much my goals for June and what I plan on doing for our travels in July. Finally, I learned a lesson that I think I knew, but never really thought about it as new to working with some wool yarns. And that is about storing your wool items. I had 2 shawls that I made probably 2 to 3 years ago and pulled them out, and there was moth damage. And very sad. One I know was Malabrigo yarn, and so sad that that happened. But I have learned to store my wool in some airtight plastic bags or containers. And that is what I have done. My son is here visiting, so that's why my setup is a little bit different. I'm usually, I took over his room when he left for college. And so all of my yarn stash is in there, but I have put them in boxes. Now, thankfully, I have had all my new wool yarns. I have had them closed in plastic, and I've just moved them to boxes that I bought at one of our plastic stores. But unfortunately, I totally forgot about those 2 shawls and did not get them put away properly. So just an encouragement for you to really take care of your things, the projects that you work so hard on. Keep them sealed up nice, especially if they are made out of animal fiber. And hopefully you won't have to throw things away like I did. And all of your things are well preserved, well taken care of. Mine are now. I even am putting my wool socks in a separate place in one of those plastic tubs from all my other socks. And so I have learned that I need to really take care of the projects that I make and make them last and enjoy using them. So thank you for joining me for this episode of Monthly Makes for the month of May 2023. And we will see you at the end of June for our monthly makes then. And please, if you are interested in studying the Bible with me, please join me for my other videos that I post on this channel, the Bible study videos and our Monday meditation, which is just a short devotion on a Bible verse or two. And so I would love to have you join me for those as well. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye, y'all.